My best with this technology. I want to say welcome, good afternoon. My name is Stephanie Rawlings-Blake, Mayor of the City of Baltimore, and I am controlling this Google Hangout this afternoon. And I want to welcome my viewers to our Star-Spangled Spectacular Hangout. I am so excited. And please note that this is Purple Friday. Otherwise, I would have on my red, white, and blue to express the excitement that I have for this once-in-a-lifetime celebration of the 200th anniversary of our national anthem. Starting on September the 10th, there is a lot happening, and we have some special guests here, and I'm going to scroll down with our guests. 1 second. Where's Bill? We have Bill Penchik, Executive Director, Ward 1812. Jill.
Okay, looks like Bill and Jill are not here.
All right, so Bill and Jill not here. Skip Kaiser, Director of Maritime Operations. Hey, Skip. Dr. Ralph Eshelman, Maryland 1812. Mike McGeady, Board President of SAIL Baltimore. McGahee, sorry. And Ranger Vince. Yay!
Huzzah!
And Connor Scott, Mayor's Office of Emergency Management. It is good to see you. I'm going to... All right. So, before diving too deep into all the stuff that's going to go on, well, we don't have Bill, so I'm going to talk to, and I'll open this up for anyone that can answer this basic question. I know how long we've been planning the Star-Spangled Spectacular, but for those who are on the Hangout with us, can someone talk about how long we've been planning the Star-Spangled Spectacular and what challenges you ran into while we were pulling it together?
Well, I can start. It was the day after celebration was over. It's been months in the making, and the challenges this time, I think, were really the different time of year in September versus June, and then all the kind of different agencies once again coming together to reprise what was a very successful event for celebration.
Good. I really want to thank all the planners. Did anyone have, Scott, did you want to add anything to that? Connor, sorry.
I would agree. I mean, we, as this is a follow-up for the event 2 years ago, we can almost say we started planning for this prior to that event, and certainly the lessons learned from that one fed into this one. So it's been a while going, and we are ready to kick it off.
Good. I know that during celebration we had event planners working around the clock, and the Star-Spangled Spectacular will be no, sorry, technical glitch, will be no different. All right, so I want to turn to this one. 1 second. All right, so I'm going to turn to Mike to reminisce about celebration, and if you could talk when you reminisce about what you think the biggest difference is going to be between celebration and the Star-Spangled Spectacular. Mike?
Well, I think celebration really was, Baltimore was a stop along a series of port visits for many vessels. This time around, I think it's all about Baltimore and those icons that came from the Battle of Baltimore in the War of 1812, the flag and our national anthem. So this is really about the citizens of Baltimore coming together to halt the British advance after they defeated or burned Washington. And then our part of the event really focuses on the maritime side, the ships, and then the crews that come along with the ships. So in this case, we have about 33 different vessels from 7 different nations, about 3,000 sailors coming. And as with celebration, the ships will be open generally from noon to 5 for free, beginning on Thursday the 11th all the way through Monday the 15th. And then there'll be a sports day on Sunday, of course, air shows and fireworks and all that stuff. So it's really exciting.
It is going to be exciting, and I know that the U.S. Navy is a huge partner, and I would love to hear from Skip about the Naval Fleet involvement. Skip?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. It's a pleasure for the United States Navy to help celebrate the 200th anniversary of the Star-Spangled Banner and the Battle of Fort McHenry. And as was pointed out, this has been about 2 years in the making from the last event, which was really well done, and I expect this will be even better. From the Navy perspective, this is a place of rich history. From the War of 1812, we had a young Navy, 6 frigates. One of them, the USS Constitution, is actually parked there in the Inner Harbor. It's a great opportunity for our public, Americans, to come out and see the Inner Harbor and the Constellation and be a part of that history. Another aspect at Fort McHenry, at the battle, we had sailors there from Joshua Barney's Chesapeake Bay Flotilla that helped man the Marine cannons. A great event, and that goes to the bombs bursting in air and the Star-Spangled Banner. So we're looking forward to this opportunity. We'll have several ships there. We'll have the Blue Angels there, as pointed out, and we'll be participating in all the events there coming up here in the next week.
I'm excited, and I'm going to try to get my nerves together for the Blue Angel show. I don't think I was expecting it to be as dynamic and death-defying as it looked when I saw it 2 years ago. So I am looking forward to it, but hopefully I won't scream as much this time. It seems like they get within inches of each other, and it was just a little too much for me. But I'm ready for it this year. So we have a long history. The Navy, U.S. Navy, and Baltimore City have a long history together. So I'm looking forward to this celebration because it's rooted in that history. So I'm going to turn now to Ralph Eshelman, who is going to discuss Baltimore's involvement in the War of 1812. How are you doing, sir?
Very good. Good afternoon, Mayor.
Good afternoon.
Well, let me talk a little bit about what I believe is the most significant aspects of the battle for Baltimore. And number one, it was part of a pivot point in the turning of the war, because when you think about it, prior to that, things were not going very well for the United States. So I look at this as the beginning of the turn of the negotiations at the Treaty of Ghent. But the most important thing is the success of the Americans in defending the city of Baltimore. And out of that came the icon that we know as the Star-Spangled Banner. And by that I mean not just the flag, but I also mean our national anthem. So this is not just something that all Baltimoreans should be proud of. This is something that all people in the United States should be proud of. And it's a story that took place right here in Baltimore.
That's what I say all the time. I say that after we finish the national anthem, the last line should be, "Thank you, Baltimore." All right, Ralph, I really want to thank you for sharing that with us. And clearly, Fort McHenry is central to our celebration, where I'd now like to turn to Ranger Vince to talk about the activities and something I have a feeling that you are excited about, and that is the historic reenactments that will happen at Fort McHenry.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, the first big reenactment we have is going to be on the 9th of September. 100 years ago, students from Baltimore City in 1914 did the living Star-Spangled Banner flag. But we're going to beat that total of 6,500. Right now we have over 7,000 students from Baltimore City and from every county within the state of Maryland. And they're going to be donning a red, white, and blue poncho, and they're going to make the huge living American flag and being part of history, making history themselves. And that's just a launching off point. On the 11th, we're honored to have the 9/11 flag here from the Trade Center. Basically, they call it the modern Star-Spangled Banner flag. The 13th, of course, we'll have the huge fireworks show. That's the anniversary of the battle itself. And yes, we will have the living history reenactors in force. We'll have a few hundred of them in camp. So you really get that living quality. And yes, we'll have the cannon fires and the guys, but we'll also have the citizens of Baltimore as well. The women who were rolling bandages and preparing, and activities for young people too. So it's about engaging young folks. And then on the morning of the 14th of September, our Dawn's Early Light Ceremony. The gates open at 7, and 9 o'clock historically is when that big flag was hoisted over the ramparts, and we're going to do that 200 years to the minute. We'll have fifes and drums. General Colin Powell will be reading a verse. So it's history, but it's also fixed to a place, Fort McHenry in Baltimore, Maryland. And then it also really has the best of the living history in the period attire, but coupled with a modern relevancy, so modern people get it.
Okay. What about the festival villages at Fort McHenry?
Yeah, we have that too. And that's going to be on the grounds around the fort. You know, just like you say, when you had an army, you got to feed an army. Well, it's the same thing here when you got a lot of visitors. So basically, the festival village will be right outside the fort. People can get their bottled water. They can get something to eat. You know, plenty of places to eat there at the festival village. So you can really make a whole day of it. Come out here. And again, the 13th and the 14th in the afternoon, the Blue Angels soar right over the fort. And then the big evening program on the 13th. So you can make a whole day of it.
Well, I know that people are excited about being able to spend the day and several days with us in Baltimore. And in order for it to be a pleasant experience, it has to be convenient, and people have to know that it's a safe experience. Connor, if you could talk about some of the preparations that we've made and how people can get around with minimal hassle. We know there's going to be hundreds of thousands of people here, but talk about some of the preparations that you've done, that your team has done, and about how people can enjoy it with the least amount of traffic hassle.
Absolutely. So you know me, I always talk about planning. So I would advise anyone going to the event to plan ahead. The best way to do that is to visit the event website, which is Star-Spangled200.com. And on there you'll find information on anything you need to know about the event in terms of parking, public transportation access, the calendar of events to figure out exactly what you want to go to. One of the biggest challenges with this event is that Fort McHenry is exactly that. It's a fort. So it's actually engineered to be difficult to get into. So with that in mind, there's actually no parking at the fort or in the Locust Point neighborhood just outside of the fort, other than for those who live in the area and those who need to take the ADA shuttle. So on the website, people will find information about shuttle buses to the fort, the best ways to walk there, and I would certainly advise anyone to check out that resource. During the event, the best way to keep in touch with goings-on, and then also any emergency information, should it be necessary, is to actually, if you have a Twitter account, follow the hashtag Star-Spangled200. And also important to keep in mind that two of the bigger events that people are coming to see are the Blue Angels and the fireworks. And you don't necessarily have to be at Fort McHenry to view either of those two events. As we learned last time, the Blue Angels are visible from just about anywhere in the city. So I would advise people to find a spot, if they can't get to the fort, to go somewhere along the Inner Harbor to view the fireworks show and or the Blue Angels. But please check out the website, Star-Spangled200. That'll have links to all information you need, and everyone have a great time.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Connor, for all of your hard work and for giving the plug for the website and our hashtag. Before we close, I want to thank everyone and say if there are any other final comments that our organizers would like to add before we close out this Google Hangout.
Well, I'll just say briefly, Mayor, that the arrival of the ships will take place on the 10th, and the departure is on the 16th. So if folks want to see the ships actually underway, and it's very exciting because we have representative vessels from the 16th century all the way up through the most modern the Navy can provide. So again, very exciting stuff.
Well, I've been telling people, forget about New York's Fleet Week. This is going to be where it's at. They're going to have a much better time here with all of the international ships that are coming in as well. So I want to thank you for that. Anyone else before we close?
Mayor, just a quick one, Skip Heiser here, just to add on to what Mike mentioned. We will have the ships coming in. From the Navy perspective, we'll have an amphibious ship at Locust Point near Fort McHenry. Downtown in the Inner Harbor, we'll have the Choctaw County, our newest joint high-speed vessel. And we'll also have NATO ships that'll be visiting with the flagship of the Leyte Gulf. And they'll be open for visitors during the afternoons. There'll be group tours in the morning. And not only the ships, but as mentioned, we'll have the Blue Angels. They'll be rehearsing on Friday. The air shows will be on Saturday and Sunday. And as was pointed out, you can see them from just about anywhere in the Inner Harbor of Baltimore. Should be a great show to watch. Last but not least, we have the Navy's skydiving leapfrogs. They'll be in several places around the town. We have divers from explosive ordnance teams. They'll be diving in the aquarium. We'll have the gun deck from the USS Constitution down in the Inner Harbor, and a lot of other smaller events. So we're really looking forward to partnering with Baltimore in this celebration. And thank you for the opportunity to be here today.
Well, I cannot thank you enough, and I want to thank all of the participants on this Google Hangout. And my last word will go to Ranger Vince, and that is hoorah!
Huzzah!
I mean, sorry, huzzah!
Got my Baltimore flag right here with the battle monument on it, right?
Wonderful, wonderful. All right, thank you so much, everyone. Have a great week, great end of the day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.